YouTube, this video, we are going to go through how to effectively build muscle mass. And on that note, I'm going to open a cold can of No Way, which is flavoured protein water, 20 grams. It's warm here. These go down a treat because it is also 3:30 in the afternoon, so a cold can of Monster, caffeine, not ideal. Instead, cold can of this, 20 grams of protein, and will help you effectively build muscle mass. How's that for a plug? Anyway, we're going to go through a little bit more detail in terms of building muscle mass, what it entails, what it means, and ultimately, how to best go about it. So when it comes to looking a certain way, for the majority of people, it's going to be having more muscle than they potentially have. Okay, most of us probably don't have as much muscle as we may think, and that's why this sort of roadmap is how I would go about adding muscle tissue over a prolonged period of time. We're talking this is pretty much a 12-month roadmap from week 1 to week 52, or month 1 to month 12. So obviously when it comes to wanting to look a certain way, 9 times out of 10, it's going to come down to muscle mass and low body fat, but we'll go through that later on down the line. And developing muscle takes time, and that's something that definitely does not happen overnight. For me, I remember back 2019, I was on 5,000 calories a day. I'd wake up in the morning before a gym floor shift, which started at 5:30. This was my morning routine. I'd wake up at 4:15. I'd have 100 grams of oats, 2 scoops of whey protein with some berries on, and then I'd have 2 bagels with jam. That was at 4:30 in the morning. At 6:30, I'd then have chicken, sweet potato, and almond butter. At then 11:30, I would then have the same again. No, I would have mince and rice. I'd train about 1:30, so by about 12:30, I'd have a cookie as some fast-acting carbohydrates and some sugars. I'd train, I'd have an intra-workout drink, which was about 40 to 50 grams of carbohydrates. After this session, I'd have 2 post-workout meals. I'd have 150 grams of Cocoa Pops with 2 scoops of whey protein. And then my dinner after that would be a chicken and rice meal. And then my evening last meal of the day would be 200 grams of Greek yogurt, granola, and some dark chocolate, I believe. So I've been there. 250 grams of protein, training 6 times a week. And yes, it got me strong. It made me add a lot of muscle mass. It's not how I'd go about things now. So I'm going to start off with phase 1 of how to go about getting into the shape that you want to. Remember, this is a long-term process. So straight away, what I would do with the majority of my clients is if I had someone come to me saying, Jack, I want to gain muscle mass and look the best I've ever looked. Okay, it's a 12-month roadmap. So we're going to start off, depending on the individual, but 9 times out of 10, we want to get this individual lean. Okay, so we're probably going to enter some form of dieting phase to begin with, to get their body fat levels lower, to get their body sensitive to food, and then we can look to push on. So the reasons why I do this is it will give us a much longer runway when it comes to our gaining phase. Because if you're someone that starts with a little bit more body fat than potentially they want to, going into a gaining phase, you're only going to add more body fat. So we want to get rid of that first to then give us more time in the long run. Plus food sensitivity as well, and just overall body composition. You're going to be able to respond a lot better if you start leaner. So that's one thing I'd be doing. This dieting phase could be sort of anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks, fairly aggressive, sort of a get in, get out, because ultimately we want to spend as long as possible trying to gain muscle mass. So I'd be still staying strong in the gym. I'd be training probably 3 to 4 max gym sessions per week, focusing on obviously progressive overload, intensity, execution. My deficit would be anywhere from 200 to 300 calories per day, and then I would adjust as I go on, and I'd be looking at about 0.5 to 0.8 grams, kilograms per week in terms of rate of loss. Now, you could then look to go through another avenue of dropping to a training day calories and non-training day calories. So on the days where you train, you'd obviously consume more calories, mainly through carbohydrates in your pre and post meal. And then your non-training days, maybe more sort of protein fat based with just 1 carbohydrate meal, so and less calories in general. So something that could be used, obviously cardio to be used to increase expenditure, overall steps as well, so 10,000 per day. So we're using this phase to get lean, still stay strong, but just put ourselves in a really, really good position before we then look to grow and increase our calories. So that's what we'd be doing first, priming the body and getting ourselves into the position we need it to be. We then, after this dieting phase, would go into a reverse phase or a reverse diet. So once you finish your dieting phase and you're a lot leaner, so anywhere from 12% or less, that's going to put you in a great spot to be in a really good position to grow muscle mass, keep relatively lean, and obviously prolong the phase that we want to be in. So our food's going to be super responsive to our body's going to be super responsive to food, so this is a great position to be. So you'll notice that just by increasing food slightly, energy will be through the roof your day to day. Your energy in the gym will be through the roof, and you'll probably notice that even if your calories have gone up, say 200 to 400 from the lowest they were at, you're probably still going to lose weight because you're probably still in a deficit because of the increase in your energy because of the food. So this is a fantastic phase to be in, but you almost need to take your time and reverse correctly as opposed to just eating anything and everything. So start off by putting your calories back up to about maintenance from your deficit. Like I say, you're going to notice a huge spike in energy, see progress in the gym. Still stay disciplined because your hunger hormones are going to be going, whoa, all this extra food, great, I want more, I want more, I want more. You've got to still stay disciplined because otherwise you can just go down the rabbit hole of eating everything and anything, which is less than ideal. You will notice your scale weight increase, but your body composition, so the way that you look, will probably stay the same. You'll still stay lean, you'll just be fuller and obviously holding on to a bit more glycogen and water through the additional carbohydrates. So I'd be in this reverse dieting phase for between 2 to 4 weeks until I've hit sort of a plateau, and then I would be looking to go into the next phase, which would be a gaining phase. Now, this phase here is the one you want to be in for the longest period of time. Okay, this is ultimately what's going to allow you to change your body year on year for however long you decide to do so. Okay, because it's not a case of just trying to eat as much food as you can and ultimately eat everything and anything in sight. Stay away from that. Purely down to obviously digestion. The amount of calories you're going to consume is not going to be good for your sort of your digestive system, as I've spoken about. You're going to feel quite sluggish, lethargic. You almost want to just slowly but surely work your way up over a long period of time. So see food as fuel and earn the right to increase. Okay, we're roughly looking for about 1 kilo per month in body weight. Okay, that's what normally 0.2 to 0.3, maybe 0.4 per week. But that's ultimately what we want it to be. So once you've noticed that number stall, that's when you would then increase your food. So you basically, you're taking your time with it. Some may say this is even more challenging than a dieting phase because you're not getting that instant gratification. On a dieting phase, you're seeing body fat come down, you're getting lighter, you're like, this is wicked. Whereas in a gaining phase, your body weight's going up a little bit and you're like, oh, I might as well just eat whatever because I can get away with it. And before you know it, you get a little bit sloppy. And be disciplined because remember, it takes time to build muscle, and obviously when body weight begins to plateau or when progress in the gym starts to plateau, that's going to be your sign to increase your food, mainly through carbohydrates is what I'd be looking to increase that from. Now, this is the phase you want to be for in as long as possible. Okay, not 2, 3, 4 months. We're talking at least 6 months in a gaining phase, which is going to allow you to change the way that you look, hold the most amount of muscle that you've had. And obviously, the longer you're in this phase, the better. Because this is an environment where your body is going to be in a surplus, it's going to be in a position that's primed to grow lean muscle mass and obviously allow you to change the way that you look. But don't get sloppy and just eat everything and anything in sight. Stay that same discipline as you did, or as you would do in a dieting phase, for example. Now, we would look to then go into phase 4, which would be a mini cut. So let's say you've spent 9 months in a gaining phase. Calories are quite high, body weight's higher, the highest it has been. Body composition is okay, you're still holding good condition, but maybe it's a little bit sloppy, or a little bit more body fat than you'd want to. You're noticing that motivation's low, appetite is gone. That's where a mini cut would come in. Okay, so anywhere from 6 to 9 months in your gaining phase, you might come across this period. This is where you would implement a mini cut. And the main aim for a mini cut is to reset appetite, to take a break for the digestive system from consuming thousands and thousands of calories per day, and also just to tidy up the way that you look, get your body back to a good position from a body composition standpoint, and also just allow the body to become resensitized again, like we did at the start. So I would be straight away, 4 to 6 weeks, drop calories by 1,000 straight away. If you've built it up in your gaining phase to say 3,500, 4,000 calories, 2,500 to 3,000 calories per day is going to be quite a nice break for you. So 1,000 calories straight away. You want to be aggressive, get in, get out, still stay strong in the gym, still make sure that you're making progress. Don't think that now your calories are dropped, you're going to see a massive drop off in strength. Stay strong, and ultimately use this as a time period to just reset, give yourself a bit of a break mentally and physically, and then go back into a gaining phase from there. So you've done all those processes. You started off getting nice and lean. You then reverse dieted out of that phase. You then went into your first gaining phase where you push body weight. You've got the strength in the gyms through the roof. You've then gone into a mini cut because you noticed your appetite had dropped, motivation to train had dropped, and a little bit of energy. Now you then went back into a gaining phase because you reverse engineer from when you want to be the leanest you can be. Okay, so this is your main dieting phase. We've done mini cuts. We did a little bit. We've done 2 sort of mini cuts, to be fair. This is the main one. This is the one that's going to be your 16 weeks, whereby you might have a holiday, you might have a social event, or just general period of time where you want to be leaner or showcase what it is that you've built over those last few months. So 4 months is what I'd be looking to give myself. Drop calories to start with, not major, but enough so that we're in a bit of a deficit. Increase cardio if needed, increase expenditure. Because again, like I say here, if you're done your gaining phase right, you'll be able to start off dieting and seeing body weight drop with calories being quite high, because you've earned that right. Your body's used to consuming 3,500, 4,000 calories a day. You eating 3,200, 3,000 calories a day is a deficit, which is still a lot of food, but obviously over the months you will need to adjust that accordingly. Still stay strong in the gym, as I said, and continue to progress. Obviously towards the end of this dieting phase, hunger will be high, energy will be low, but just stick through it, because again, it's going to be more than worth it when you're then looking back and you're in the best shape of your life, for whether that be, like I say, a holiday or whatever else. So those phases there, that roadmap is how to go about building muscle mass effectively, and just giving you a little insight as to how I would roadmap it to clients or to individuals that are looking to get stronger, improve the way they look, because building muscle does not happen just overnight. Okay, obviously, as I've just spoken about, that was like a 12-month roadmap. You could even prolong that even more so. You could be in a gaining phase for a year, and then all the other bits and bobs alongside it, you're looking at maybe 18 months to 2 years. But that is what's going to allow you to change your physique and improve the way that you look. So hopefully that video has been helpful. My free 3-day training program is in the description, which is a full body training approach, whereby it's a full body push, full body pull, and then a full body workout designed to get you strong, not spend hours in the gym, but progress correctly. Okay, so if you want to get yourself a copy of that, head to the link in the bio, but head to the link in the description below. You'll be able to download it from there. But like I say, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. It's giving you some value and some education. If you did, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.